Hello YouTube, and welcome to part 6 in our how to make a video game tutorial series. And in this lesson what we're going to be doing is working on stats, our health system, and displaying our health bars and that sort of thing. So let's just go ahead and get started. So I'll open up Unity here, and we'll go ahead and create a new script, C# script, and call that stats. We're actually going to need 3 scripts, so I'll create all 3 of them now and we'll just fill them out as we go. Also need a HUD, and we'll also need a health bar. And these scripts, we can actually go ahead and put those on our players. So health bar and stats are actually going to go both on our enemy and our player. So we got an enemy, and I'll take stats, put that on there, and health bar, and put that on there, and apply. Now I'll take a player, do the same thing, stats, health bar, and we'll also put our HUD on there as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and start coding them. We'll start out with our stat script. Open that up in MonoDevelop. And we'll need a reference to our HP, so we'll say current HP is equal to 100, and max HP is equal to 100. And we'll also need a transform for an explosion that's going to happen once our tank explodes, and we'll need a bool to tell us whether we need to explode or not. Bool explode, and don't think we'll need our start method, so I'll just take that out, and we'll go ahead and make a new method and call that explode. So explode, and we'll also want a method to calculate damage to ourselves, so we'll say damage, make a new method and call that damage. And what we'll accept is integer, and let's call it ADJ. And for our explode method, we are going to first of all instantiate an explosion. So explosion at our position and our rotation, and we'll also want to destroy our game object. So game object dot destroy and game object. And for the damage, we will actually just want to set our cur HP equal to ADJ, or subtract from our current HP the adjustment. Okay, and that really does it for our stat script. So we can go ahead and close that down. And I'll go back into Unity and let that compile. And now we'll grab our health bar script. And in here, we'll just go ahead and get a reference to a texture 2D for our health bar texture. And before we forget, let's go ahead and hook those up now. So we'll do it to both our player and our enemy prefab. So we'll grab our player and make sure that we have the prefab applied. We can go into textures, grab our health bar, hook that up there, grab our enemy, and just do the same thing. And now I'll go back into MonoDevelop, and we'll need a reference to our camera. So cam, and our transform, so my X form, and we'll set up a world position because we're going to convert a world position into a screen position so that we can draw our health bars in the correct place. And the reason that I'm going to be caching our transform here is because we're going to be working in on-GUI, which is called quite a bit faster than update, fixed update, or late update, and it's just more efficient to cache it in scenarios when you're using it in the on-GUI rather than anywhere else. And you can cache it in your movement scripts and stuff like that. It is an efficiency boost, but I really only do it when I'm working in the GUI. So okay, we'll need a float bar length and adjustment, which is going to be equal to 1, and we'll need integers for the bar top, which is equal to 1, the bar height equal to 5, bar left equal to 110, and we'll need a reference to the stats script that we just wrote, and we'll call that stats. And in start, we'll initialize our transform to be equal to transform. Cam is equal to camera.main, and stats is equal to get component stats. And in our update, we'll say if our stats dot current HP is less than 1, then let's say bar length is equal to 1. And if our stats dot current HP is greater than or equal to 1, then we're going to actually calculate our bar length based on a percentage value. And the way that we do that is we actually have to have two values, so we'll say our bar length, or not bar top, but bar length, comply, bar length is equal to, and then our stats dot current HP divided by our stats dot max HP, and multiply that by 100. So that will give us our current HP will be a percentage of the maximum HP. And so now we can go ahead and start working in our on GUI. We'll make a void on GUI, and we'll say world pos is equal to a new vector3, and that vector3 is going to be my xform dot position dot x and my xform dot position dot y and my xform dot position dot z plus adj. And our screen position is just going to be equal to camera dot world to screen point and the world position vector that we just calculated. And then we'll draw a box for the backdrop, because as our health bar texture decreases, we still want to be able to draw the health bar in its proper length, so we'll need a backdrop for that, and that is going to be screen position dot x minus our bar left, and multiply that by 0.5, and screen dot height minus our screen position dot y minus our bar top, and 100, and bar height for the height of the texture. And also don't forget we need a content, so we'll just pass in an empty string there in order to get that. And so now we'll need to actually draw our GUI texture. And if I can find my mouse, so GUI.draw texture. And we'll set a new rect, and the health bar texture that we already assigned in the inspector. And we'll need a screen position dot x minus the bar left times 0.5f, just like before. Screen dot height minus our screen position dot y minus our bar top. And finally, our width and height. We've already cached some variables for that, and that is not bar left, bar length, and bar height. Okay. And now finally, for the HUD script, which I'll go back into Unity and let that compile. And open up our HUD. And HUD is going to be really straightforward. We don't have any fancy graphics for this one, so we're just going to display a representation of our ammo and the amount of mines that we have. So we'll say fire projectile FP and mine drop MD, light medical doctor, and FP is equal to transform dot find child, and we want to find a turret, and then get the component off of that for our fire projectile, and the same thing for MD, except we're going to find child, and the child that we'll find is our tank, and we'll get component and our mine drop off of that. And then instead of update, we'll use onGUI. And we'll draw some labels. So new rect, and we'll just statically place them at 10 to the left, 10 from the top, 80 wide, and 20 high. And we'll give it a string, call that ammo, and a space, and append on fp.ammo.toString. And we'll make another label and give that a new rect, and that rect is going to be 10 from the left, 40 from the top, 80 wide, and 20 high. And this one will say mines and colon, give it a little X here, and concatenate md.minecount.toString. Save that off, and let's go back into Unity. Unitar. Let everything compile. And we'll play the game. And now we have health bars. And obviously when we get hit, nothing happens yet, but we will be implementing damage in our next video. So I look forward to doing that, and thank you for watching. I'll see you then.